If you have spotted large black bees here in Singapore, chances are you are looking at one of 3 species of Carpenter bees commonly found here. Xylocarpus latipus is possibly the world's largest bee, Xylocarpus cruelia has a brilliant blue thorax, and Xylocarpa confusa has black females and hairy gold males. Unlike honeybees and bumblebees, Carpenter bees are solitary and have no caste systems. However, they often do nest near each other in holes bored in the wood with their strong jaws. Flowers provide the sole source of food for Carpenter bees. Here in Kent Park, Carpenter bees are commonly found foraging on bright yellow simple eye flowers or the purple flowers of the sandalwood. The next time you walk past these flowers, do keep an ear out for a distinctive audible buzzing noise produced by these foraging Carpenter bees. These buzzing noises are due to vibrations produced by the Carpenter bees using their flight musculature with decoupled wings in a process known as buzz pollination. Flowers of numerous plant species like the simple eye and sandalwood hide their pollen in poricidal anthers such that removal of pollen requires active vibration to release pollen through the apical pore. Buzz pollination is widespread among bees but are restricted to certain clades. Carpenter bees and bumblebees are able to vibrate flowers to collect pollen, but not the majority of the common honeybees. The vibrations of the tuning fork shown here closely mimics the buzzing frequency produced by a Carpenter bee at around 250 Hz. Interestingly, some Carpenter bees are able to adjust buzzing frequency to the kind of flower or according to pollen release during buzzing behavior. Also, Xylocarpa species avoid revisiting flowers shortly after previous visits, which enhances efficiency of food collection. This was associated with deposition of marking pheromones that repel other conspecifics. Bees were until recently assumed to be deaf, till studies on the communicative dances of honeybees showed otherwise. One example is the wagging dance, where honeybees inform nestmates of the distance and direction of food sources. It was found that subguanal organs in the bee's legs are highly sensitive to vibration. Also, airborne sounds induce vibrations of the antenna, which stimulate sensory cells of the Johnston's organ. Since then, acoustical signals have been found to be useful for communication among bees in addition to pheromones. Acoustic signals can be propagated quickly to elicit instantaneous response, thus are useful for communication in addition to pheromones. Would loud urban traffic noise be disruptive for Carpenter bees during buzz pollination? We decided to study the behavior of the Carpenter bees in response to loud highway noises in 2 ways. Firstly, to see if highway noise affects the number of flower landings in a frequently visited patch over an hour, and secondly, to observe if there are any interesting response by a bee visiting a flower in close proximity to loud noises. Our recorded highway noise ranged from 0 to 16,000 Hz as analyzed in Audacity Sound Editor. 2 patches of flowers with consistent bee sightings in Kent Park were chosen. One patch had mainly sandalwood and the other had mainly simple eye. We hypothesized that loud noises in the frequency of the bees' buzz pollination behavior could confuse them, thus decreasing number of flower visits or cause avoidance of flowers close to loud noises. The recorded highway noise was played on a voice recorder attached to a branch in the middle of the patch of flower for the first experiment. We then made counts of Carpenter bee landings on the flower over the hour. The experiment at each patch was carried out over 2 days from 8:15 to 9:15 am, with the first day having the recorder and the second day without. It seemed that highway noise reduced the number of bee visits to the patch with mainly simple eye flowers, but there were no obvious reduction of bee visits to the patch with mainly sandalwood flowers. Perhaps the noise was too diffuse at any one flower in a patch to affect the Carpenter bees. To test the second hypothesis, the second experiment was carried out separately. The recorder was taped next to a simple eye flower that had been popular with the Carpenter bees over the first experiment, and behavior of visiting bees were observed. It can be seen that there was an interesting avoidance behavior by the Carpenter bee, where visits were not accompanied by flower landings. These observations raise some interesting questions. Since Carpenter bees do not live in a social colony, would acoustic communication still be as important as compared to the honeybees? If not, what might be the mechanisms by which loud noises disrupt their buzz pollination behavior, which requires vibrations at a particular range of frequencies? Carpenter bees are important pollinators that provide a crucial ecosystem service in helping to pollinate many agricultural crops including blueberries, tomatoes, melons that honeybees are ineffective at. It is still unclear how the urban matrix influences plant pollinator services. There are growing concerns over the decline of many pollinator groups in transformed landscapes, and the interesting relationship between urban noises and buzz pollination can be further explored in the less studied carpenter bees compared to their counterparts, the honeybees.